Hello and welcome. This is a November 2016 update to how our stroke program works now that we've implemented the Cerner um, physician order entry, computer order entry program. Tenet has its own standard um, order sets, such as stroke order set, abdominal pain order sets, but these have been modified to be Baptist Health System approved order sets. We should be using the BHS approved stroke order for evaluation in TPA, not the Tenet specific ones. The reason for this is our BHS stroke order sets have specific metrics that we are trying to reach in our system and also are designed to be implemented with the specifics of how our EDs function. The Baptist approved order sets will be found in the shared um, portion of the orders. The tenant specific ones will be found under the public. Once you've modified your BHS specific uh, order set and saved it, it'll appear in mine. So we go to the shared tab and immediately below it we type in BHS, which will bring up all the BHS order sets. Then we go to the BHS Emergency Medicine tab. If you open up the BHS Emergency Medicine orders and scroll down, you'll find the BHS ED Stroke Ischemic with TPA and the BHS ED Stroke Alert Evaluation. Once you order one of the two, in this case I've ordered BHS ED Stroke Alert Evaluation, this pane will come up. To save it as your favorite, the next step is to click Modify. Once you've reviewed the notes and clicked or unclicked the ones that you want to have always in the order, then you will go to the bottom and select Save as My Favorites. When we go to save this, there is a standard naming convention which is used to track our usage of the approved order sets. It is very simple. You leave the name as it appears here and just add your name in front of it. This also allows you and the system to make sure that you're using the most current version of the order set. The naming convention is very simple. You just put your name in front of the text that's already there for the order set. So in this case, I put Freemeyer BHS ED Stroke Alert Evaluation with a number following it. After you click OK, it will be saved to your favorites. To access your planned favorites, you'd go back to the screen that has Mine, Public, and Shared. Here the Shared is clicked, but you would go ahead and click Mine, and then My Favorites would have your new BHS saved favorites. With the loss of the T system, where we had our own language for documentation of specific metrics, we lost several of our documentation, such as TPA not given within 60 minutes and the reason, or TPA not given in the reason, or intra-arterial therapy considered. So I have completed a pre-completed note under the CVA neurologic problem and shared it as Freemeyer CVA neurologic problem pre-completed note. When you add documentation, if you go to the pre-completed file, it will appear under Freemeyer CVA neurologic problem. Make sure that all the boxes above this are unclicked, or else it will not appear. This pre-completed note has specific language added under the medical decision making tab for reasons why TPA was not given, why TPA was delayed greater than 60 minutes, and reasons why a patient was considered for intraarterial therapy or not. There's an underscore in front of each element, which allows you to place an X in front of the part that you check, and then you can add free text afterwards. For example, social reason, patient wanted to consult his family who were not here prior to making a decision. One area where the NIH stroke scale can be found is under the CVA neurologic deficits under the procedure column. I know that I've had several questions asking where the NIH stroke scale is. This is one way to access it. A key new difference is in the ordering of Activase. Previously, our CPOE would calculate the dose based on the weight entered, giving the maximum dose. Now, if the patient's weight is over 100 kilos, it'll warn you that it's too high, but it doesn't calculate the maximum dose for you. So again, we should be using the BHS specific stroke order set. And when we do that for the TPA administration, we see this section on the Activase administration. If you click on the details to the right or on the pill just to the left of the alteplase on the left hand of the screen, you'll bring up the specifics of the ordering seen in the next slide. This is a very busy looking screen, but really the only important thing is if the patient weighs more than 100 kilograms, because 0.9 of 100 kilograms gives you 90 milligrams, which is the maximum dose. On the bottom left of the screen, you'll notice there's an actual weight. If this actual weight is greater than 100 kilos, then you'll need to change the final dose. The final dose in the top left under number 4, if the patient is more than 100 kilos, it's simply 90 that you put in there. There are other safeguards that if you follow later on, they will help you get to this point. But the easiest way is that the person weighs more than 100 kilograms, put the final dose as 90 milligrams. So if the patient's less than 100 kilos or they're over 100 kilos and you've changed the final dose to 90 milligrams, you simply go to the bottom right and click Apply Dose. The system will warn you, but just remember that you need to modify it so that the maximum dose is 90 milligrams. After you enter in the patient's weight and apply the dose, this is the screen that you will see. You'll notice that there's an Order Comments tab. Previously, the calculation gave a 10% bolus followed by the infusion. Now this is under this tab. The comments section is for the nurses. This tells them to calculate a 10% bolus and then tells them about how to do the infusion. One other item, we should all be documenting last known well, not onset. Um, Abstractors, when they have the choice between somebody that says a physician that says last known well, or another physician also seeing the patient that said onset, last known well will be given preference over onset. Unfortunately, the power notes have onset instead of last known well. However, however, if you use the BHS stroke evaluation order set, it will come up with a pop-up that will ask you to document last known well. Another way to document last known well is on the tracking shell. There's a button that says ad hoc right above the patients. If you click on ad hoc, a series of documentation uh, items will pop up afterwards. In this case, we're looking for last known well, which is 5 from the top on the left-hand column. Also notice that there's an acute AMI EKG finding so that you can quickly document a STEMI in a patient. This is the screen that pops up for last known well. Once you've completed the date, time, then you go to the left upper corner and click on the check box, and it'll save your documentation. One additional item, you'll notice that the reminder for consideration of intra-arterial therapy is different than what we've been currently using. It's for an NIH stroke scale of 6 or greater. We, as a health system, are changing to this NIH stroke scale of 6 or greater in onset of symptoms less than 6 hours. These are the patients we would consider for intra-arterial therapy. Order the CT perfusion head, CTA head and neck, and consult the neurointerventionalist. So this concludes our November 2016 update on the use of Cerner in regard to our stroke program. Please let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully this was helpful. Thank you.